And we are live. Hello. Where Hello and a very warm welcome to everyone tuning in for the Inters Racing League Season 4 opener. This is it, baby. We are live. The teams have been chosen, the strategies devised, and there's a tangible buzz of excitement around the paddock. You can almost taste the nervous anticipation as the drivers climb into their cockpits, making their final preparations to begin the season's journey. You join us live this Friday evening for Round 1, Tier 4. It's the French Grand Prix at Le Castellet in the southern region of France. My name's Tetris, and I'm joined here in Sky Race Control today by my amazing co-host, AlphaTauri TP, Season 2 champion, multiple podium sitter, and all-round absolute legend, Broseph. Welcome back to Sky Race Control, mate. An absolute pleasure to be joined by you here today for the commencement of another exciting, action-packed season. How are you today? Are you enjoying your time in the southern region of France?
Oh, I certainly am. No doubt about it. Been sipping on wine all day. So thank you so much, Tetris. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you to open up this round 1 for Tier 4, Season 4 here at Inters Racing League. Sponsored by W, of course. What an absolute cracker list of drivers we have filling the grid today. Of course, as you said, here at France, Circuit Paul Ricard. Allow me to begin going through the drivers soon. But before we get to that, we're going to invite the head admin of Inters, Sam, into the party. I'll send him the invite if you just run us through some of these cars that are getting out on grid, Tetris.
Well, so far we've got a couple of drivers driving out. Let's have a look. I don't feel as though... Oh, here we go. We have the AlphaTauri of... actually, everyone's getting out on... getting out into it. We've got Bridgie. He is out on an outlap. Everyone is getting out of the pits. Aussie Powers. He is in the Red Bull tonight. Alan Santa, one of the AlphaTauri legends, returning back to AlphaTauri. Immortal Racer. Veteran since Season 1, he was chosen in the Mercedes this evening. Domwa, obviously, again, a veteran from Season 1. He is one of our international drivers from the east coast of America. He's driving in the Williams. JT, who else? Trenner in the Aston Martin. Jenneth Lee, Roland Thunder. Banglabai is just exiting the pits now for Alfa Romeo. F1 Original, he is also on an outlap as well. We've got...
Looks like Bridgie might be starting a hot lap soon. It looks like Sam, our head admin's been caught up in the terrace and the bars there, just sipping on a bit of Pinot Noir, and he's running a little bit late, but on board with Bridgie at the moment, and Bridgie's, of course, in McLaren, and we all know Mercy is the TP of McLaren. He drafted very strongly in Tier 4. He took Bridgie early with pick 2. Bridgie crushed it once he arrived last season, and it's probably an early favourite to take Ducat's championship crown, as we see him just heading into, that'd be turn 4, 5, 6 he'll be going through now. Looking pretty strong. This is the tricky one through here. You got to make sure you get the foot on the throttle at the right time, otherwise you're going to spin it around. And gets the DRS open. Let's see how he gets through the chicane here, Tetris.
Yeah, this is a very tricky sequence of corners, either down into 5th or 4th, depending on what your preference is and how your differential is sitting in the car. And then through this very high speed sequence of corners, it's a long right-hander, which brings you into Sector 3. Very long right-hander, a very short straight into another long right-hander. Obviously, you have to get the the braking and the acceleration absolutely spot on, or else you will end up in the blue and red stripes. Down into 3rd, through this final couple of sequence of corners, round towards the pit entry, generally down into about fourth here, hanging the arse end out, and either third, fourth or second, depending on what your preference is, back onto the straight. Let's see what he comes up with as the first flying lap. He has set a 1:33. That's quite impressive for a first lap this early in quali.
It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Just on board with F1 Original in the AlphaTauri. Looks like he's coming around turn 15, the final turn there. Gets on the gas nice and early. Hits the DRS. Let's see what kind of time he gets here to open up for his debut ride for AlphaTauri. And he goes a 32.2 there. And Santa, actually, his teammate who was just behind him, looks like he got a nice tow, a 32.2 there to begin his season in the blue and white car there.
Time's already starting to become competitive and starting to tumble. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually end up getting into the 131s. What's happened there?
Yep. Oh, Trenner's just actually put on a 131.1, so he has just blitzed the field. Of course, Trenner in the Aston Martin doing fabulously well there to begin his campaign. Matty Ayew, the team principal of Aston Martin, he was very pleased to nab Trenner with pick 1 in Tier 4. Trenner was just as strong as his teammate last season, Bridgie, maybe even stronger, and Trenner secured a race win and 2 seconds in just 6 races last season, and what a fantastic start already. His teammate Paddy's actually looks like he's on a hot lap as well. We might get on board with Paddy. Of course, Paddy was picked up pick number 18 in Aston Martin this season in the draft. Paddy was the Season 2 Sprint Series champion for McLaren. We all know he's got great form. Of course, he was in AlphaTauri last season and struggled a little due to circumstances outside of his control, but he's back this season looking to put on a real strong performance and prove me wrong for not drafting him.
Big things expected from a lot of the drivers. Some of them are a little bit unknown, new to Inters. It's their first season at Inters, so they'll be out to impress the team principals. And we are, as you said, I think I'm on board with Paddy at the moment. He's coming through Sector 3. I'm not sure if he's actually on a lap or whether this is a cool-down lap for him, because he has set a 1:33.4.
He might be going to the pits, you reckon?
Yeah, yep, he's peeling off into the pits. See if we can find someone else. Quiet Cake, I think, he is just warming up. He's coming through Sector 3 at the moment, keeping his tyres nice and cool, making sure that doesn't have too much temperature, but has a bit of temperature. I think, yes.
Let's get down to Skidor Peak. He's actually in the Mercedes this evening. He definitely looks like he's on a hot lap at the moment. He was taken with the last pick in the draft, a relative unknown at Inters. So, we're both looking forward to him kicking off his career tonight.
Relative unknown, but I have seen his name around a few of the leagues that I'm a member of. So, not completely unknown. Another driver that's been around the traps. I think he was in Inters for half a season and had to step out, or maybe that was Rush. But yeah, he is definitely not completely unknown, but this is his first full-time seat. And as he comes across the line, he is up into 8th. That's quite a good lap, 1:33. Solid, midfield, nice.
Yeah, that's a very good lap, especially with the field that we've got tonight. There's some really quick drivers out there, especially filling out the top 10 at the moment. Of course, we've got Jenneth Lee in the Red Bull. Now, Jenneth tonight is replacing not Aussie Powers, but Aussie Powers' teammate tonight.
He is replacing, where is it?
Let's see.
I used to have it. I had it here.
Yep, it's actually A-Dog. It was A-Dog was,
it.
he was pick number 14 by Tyler in the draft.
There he is,
so,
A-Dog.
Jenneth Lee was absolutely stiff not to get drafted, I reckon. So quite a pretty good performance so far in P11 in the Red Bull. We've got a couple of other reserves. We've got Rolling Thunder in the Ferrari. So I think Mash, the TP in Ferrari, is missing both of his drivers tonight. So Beefy, who was taken with pick number 12, is missing, and Ethimon is missing. So we've got Rolling Thunder and Bill's Battlers, both in the Ferrari reserves tonight, and Bill's doing very well in the top 5 at the moment.
He is as well. I was on board there for a moment because Quiet Cake, he is a little bit unknown to Inters, but he's just put in a lap to put him on P3. Ads, IRL ads,
Wow.
not really here, will be very impressed with that. That's a great lap to put him up in, I mean, provisionally on a podium, but obviously, it is just qualifying at the moment. Don't want to completely commentators curse the Alpine driver, but that's really impressive. 132.0. And yeah, well, we might even get into the 130s here, which kind of scares me in T3, Tier 3.
Yeah, definitely some quick drivers out there. Of course, Quiet Cake, as you said, a relative, somewhat newcomer, but performed strongly enough in pre-season for Ads to take Quiet Cake with pick number 6 in Tier 4. Of course, Quiet Cake's teammate is very well-known Cuds in the Alpine. Ads beat everyone to the punch with pick 3, snatching the ever-improving Cuds. Was clearly a dark horse for a top 10 finish in his debut full-time season here at Inters. Cuds has a fantastic attitude and fits in perfectly here at Inters, so I can't wait to see how he performs out on track.
Yeah, I've done a few pre-season races with the Cardinator, and he was quite quick. He was keeping up with some of the tier 3, and tier 2 lads, like really impressive in practice. So be interesting to see how he goes. Not just in a race but a full season. I also want to do a quick shout out to Tyler. Thanks very much, Tyler. I did see your message pop up on the screen prompting me for your Tier 4 driver. Sorry about the lapse in memory, Tyler, but you know me, I'm old, and you have to be really patient with me. But I was on board with Bang because Bang is another driver who we know is extremely rapid. Every time I say rapid tonight, I have to have a drink. That's part of the rules. Sorry, I don't make the rules. That's just how it is.
Yeah, that's Staines' rule.
But
that's what that is.
He unfortunately, maybe he sensed that I was watching, and he actually invalidated, which was a shame. I was on board with SJ, but he did the same thing. So see if we can find someone on a push lap. Looks like is Santa on a push lap, or is he just on an out lap at the moment?
Santa, I'm not sure, but I think Bang. Were you on board with Bang just before, were you?
Oh, we just got a message popped up. Are you able to send Aussie Powers an invite? Apparently he can't get into the session, or he's been kicked from the session. I just can't do it because I'm on stream and it would look quite ugly. But if you can't do it, I'll do it.
Yeah, I can do it. Not a problem.
Thank you very much, my friend. Who else was on a lap? Paulie, thank you. Paulie is on a lap. Let's have a look at Paulie. He's just rejoined.
He has.
Paulie is on a lap. We're going to sit on board with F1 Original. He is new to Alpha Tauri. He does a lot of streaming. I have actually raced with him. Oh, unfortunately, he's just invalidated. I'm sorry, Paulie. I don't want to say commentator's curse, but let's blame it on tyres, actually.
So I can just confirm Aussie Powers is back in?
Yes, looks like Aussie Powers back in. Quick update, we have 38 people watching, so hey, just got a message from Geocat. Sorry I'm missing the first race, but I'm in Santa's ear for the race. I don't know if we should have said that live on stream. That's a bit bit naughty, but I hope you're having a great time, Geocat. We miss you as well. I'm looking forward to A, racing with you, and B, looking forward to doing comms with you next week when you return. No offense at all to my amazing co-host this evening.
Of course, Crumpin Kangaroo is the other reserve tonight, replacing Parzival, or Jesse, as he's otherwise known.
Yep. That's the Kangaroo man, Crumpin.
That's the Kangaroo.
I'm going to call him Crumpin Kangaroo now. Kano. Crumpin Kanga. That's just some of the...
You remember the Crumpin Kangaroo, don't you, mate?
I
Surely
remember...
you're old enough.
Wow, yes. I am probably old enough, but I'm not sure. We'll have to chat about this after the race.
Anyway, yeah.
What was it? Was it a character?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
All right, so who are we on board with, Tetris?
I am on board with Bridgie at the moment. It looks like he is on another Another fast lap at the moment, coming around through sector 3, coming down to the final sequence of coming around to the final sequence of corners just before the pit entry, down into 4th. Let's see what he does here. He down into 2nd and short shifting out to on the pit straight. DRS activated. Let's see what he's doing. He hasn't invalidated, so this should be a good lap. Doesn't improve. It was a good lap. Good solid lap. Does Crumpin' Kangaroo have the theme song from Pulp Fiction? It's very funny, but I don't think it's quite right, Grego. Who else is on? JT Racing. No, he's not on a fast lap. He's cooling down his tyres, making sure he doesn't do any quali blocks.
That's it. We've had a couple of Pulp Fiction references in
we have. I see you did a sneaky one last night in a chat. That was wasn't actually very sneaky. It was quite overt, but it was almost word. It was pretty much word for word, and I was impressed. I thought it was it's one of my favourite parts of that movie. But we can talk about movies another time. Skidder Peak. He's come around the final couple of corners. Smoke some cigarettes and watch some Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I got nothing to do.
To lose. I'm on board with SJ at the moment. SJ is actually on a hot lap. He hasn't recorded any time at the moment.
No.
So SJ actually, I've got some interesting stats on SJ. Let me just pull this up. Of course, SJ finished 3rd behind Alpha Tauri Kings of Tier 4 last season. In 3rd position. SJ, he's got many points finishes here at Inters, but surprisingly hasn't stood on the podium yet. No. So he'll look to break that curse in an unfamiliar orange car this season. Of course, we know him from the Haas and then into the Ferrari, where he pretty much dominated when he took that seat.
Seems to be a bit of a theme in some of the tiers where you can actually do quite well throughout a season and you might not even win. One of the winless champions was Paddy. Paddy was a winless champion. Geocat last year in Tier 4, he was a winless champion. I can't think of any other off the top of my head. Maybe you can prompt me if you can think of any, but yeah. So Aussie Powers has finally got back into the session. Haven't won a race yet. We'll change that this season, Geocat. Don't worry about that. I'll help you do that. Aussie Powers is finally on a push lap. He's had a bit of troubles with his access to the lobby. I'm not sure whether it was internet or whatever it is, but he's finally out there. He is on a push lap now, coming round, just about to finish sector 1. Big long right-hander, quick left onto the back straight. It's about 1 mile long, this straight, exceptionally long. It goes into a very quick left, right, left. Hopefully this car in front will get out of the way. The Williams, please get out of the way. Thank you very much. I hope that didn't hamper him, but he's missing some gears there. I don't know what happened there, but
comes into that big turn 11 there.
Yeah, down into 5th. Round this left-hander into 3rd, then round through to the final section of corners, through to the pit, round to the pit entry, generally down into about 3rd or 4th, and then into 2nd, short shifting out of the corner onto the straight, DRS activated. Let's see what he can do. He'll be wanting to get a little bit better than the 20th, and he's managed to get up into 13th. Which isn't probably what he wanted, but it's definitely an improvement to where he was less than a minute ago.
Oh, definitely improvement. Of course, Aussie Powers was drafted by the new team principal at Red Bull this season after being handed the prestigious keys from Timmy. So,
hey, I'm going on holidays. Here, have this.
Yep, at the 11th hour. So, yeah, Tyler's done brilliantly to draft as he has. He took Aussie Powers for pick number 5 in Tier 4. It was a wise choice. Aussie finished 9th in Tier 4 last season after only appearing in 5 races, and one of those being an impressive victory in Jeddah. So Aussie Powers is a race winner, and I expect him to, get many points this season.
I just realised that with all the BS that I've been going on with, we've just missed Bang, put in a 131 flat. Sorry about that,
Wow.
Logan. That's a brilliant lap. Absolute banger of a lap.
Let's
131
go,
flat.
Bang.
7 thousandths off getting into the 130s. That is so quick.
Now, you
Nice.
know who's going to be smiling with that? That'll be Gobby, the new team principal there.
Gobby will be smiling. Almighty God will have a big, massive grin on his almighty face. And we love that. We love that face. We miss him at down at the AlphaTauri garage, but we obviously wish him so well with his new endeavour. A lot more pressure when you are a team principal. A lot more pressure on you. I felt it the last couple of seasons. So good luck, Gobby. You'll be happy with that. First for Bang, he is in first place, pole position, and I think I saw someone say you can't dive bomb from first place, tongue in cheek, but you can.
Yeah, if Bang can keep his nose clean this season, of course he's going to do really well. Scored many points last season. Bang did. I think he finished 6th overall in the Red Bull. So he's in the Alfa Romeo this season, and I'm sure Gobby will be pleased with that performance so far. Just rounding out the top 10, we've got Bang, we've got Trenner in the Aston Martin, Bridgie in the McLaren, his teammate from last season, AlphaTauri, represented by Alan Santa, 4th. Cuds up into P5 and his teammate in P6, Quiet Cake, so Ads will be very happy. Don Moore in P7 in the Williams, JTE Racy. Very impressive in the Haas, and his team at Batman as well, P12 there. Immortal Racer, P9. Very, very good job there. And Bill Battler's the reserve in the Ferrari, rounding out the top 10. So very impressive qualifying. The nerves are probably still there for a lot of the drivers. Probably they'll probably be going all the way through the race, but hopefully settling down a few laps into the race. Who do you reckon you're going to stay on board with for the start, Tetris?
For the opening lap? I reckon let's stay on board with, say, 4th place. Who was in 4th? It was just before the Alpines. So basically, I was going to sit on the second row.
Santa was 4th.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we won't sit with him. I don't want to curse him. I don't know. Who do you reckon? It's tough to say. Maybe we just stick on board with Bang and see what he does straight off the bat.
How about Don Moore, who's sitting in 7th position? Don Moore's been around since season 1. Of course, he missed last season, but yeah, he's a veteran and he's in the Williams tonight. So Logan will be having a keen eye on him and his start. He was very impressive in the preseason. Don Moore's been very rapid and he's had some great starts. So let's see how he can go off the line after this formation lap.
Yeah, massive shout out to Don Moore. He was actually my first teammate in Inters. I raced with him in Williams, and look, he's back in the Williams, back in Williams racing for his his full-time seat. So massive shout out to you, Donwa. I hope you do well tonight and throughout the season. Let's just putting up some tyres. We've got the track. Yep, we've got everything on screen that we need to see. Let's get rid of that little button. Does anyone on the stream want to see anything else on screen, or are we showing everything we need to show? I like to get some. Sorry, go on.
Feedback.
Yeah, I like to get a bit of feedback. Looking at the tyres, we've got a majority of people on mediums. There's a few on hards, and there is one, Bill's Battlers, in the reserving for Ferrari, going the alternate strategy of softs.
Really is.
Let's have a look at.
I don't know if that's such a wise decision because he's going to have to. I mean, he'll definitely have to box twice, and the pit lane stop here is really long, so it might not work in his favour. You never know what's going to happen, of course, but traditionally you'd probably want the one stop only. Trenner really interesting going the hards in P2. Normally you'll see running the medium so far up the field, so that's an alternate strategy. See how that one plays out. Cuds, of course, running the hards in P5 along with Don Moore. And then down the back of the field, Wayne Morris and Crumpin Kangaroo and SJ. SJ, I think he had a shocking qualifying. I don't think he actually got to get a lap in. Looked like he had a fair bit of traffic at one point when he was trying to get a hot lap in. So He'll be taking it from the back of the field, and I'm sure he'll work his way up. SJ is one of the fastest out on track in Tier 4, there's no doubt about that.
No doubt about it. I've seen a massive improvement in his pace. At the beginning of the game cycle, he even said it himself, he was a boat, but he's come a long way, SJ, so big shout out, hope you go well. Not just tonight, but all season long. So yeah, as I said, as you mentioned, as you suggested, we are going to stay on board with Domwa for the first lap. We might even just get rid of all of that so that we can just see, look at that. This is the first grid for 2023. I'm so excited. You want to lead us away with the 5 red lights, Broseph? I would love it if you did that.
Sure, no worries. All right, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. They're going to hold us for a little bit here, but Season 4 at Inters Racing, Tier 4 is about to kick off any moment, and they're away. Domwar's gotten off nicely. Quakecat got an even better start up on his inside, but Domwar's coming back. He's going all the way on the outside here. Cars are away nicely. There's F1 Original Paulie all the way up on the inside. He's jumped about 5 positions there. He's actually made contact with his teammate and he's gone around. So Paulie's going to have to fight back through the field here. Let's go back up to the top. Let's see what's happened. The drivers are just finding their way through. Looks like SJ's gone around as well, maybe. Or Bridgie it was, sorry. Bridgie's gone around. So he's going to climb all the way back up as well. Terrible start for the man up the top there. It's a bit of a rough start. What are you seeing? Oh, Wayne Morris is having trouble.
There's a few little scuffles going on, but I'm aboard at the moment with Trenner. He's actually, Bang's pulled away from him a little bit. Let's go back to Santa has maintained. Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look at the... No, we don't want penalties, we want position changes.
Actually going down into turn 8 on the outside of Wayne Morris, looking to make a move here. Wayne gives him room. Cuts the corner there nicely on turn 9 and keeps the position. Wayne doing his best impersonation of a boat there to keep Batman behind him. Great job there. Jacko will be very happy to see that Haas moving up the field. Of course, very interesting drafting in Tier 4 from Jacko. I thought he had one of the strongest drafts overall, and 2 relatively unknown drivers here at Inters, and he's pairing those 2 together in Tier 4. Batman, a great start at the moment in P9, and JTE Racing, he must have been caught up with Bridgie and those others. He's way down in P20 at the moment, just following SJ. As we move back up the field, let's have a look. Let's get on board with Paddy at the moment. Paddy's in P7. We'll have a look at the position changes if we can.
Yes, I have.
So Paddy's gone up 11.
11.
That's massive. So big smiles there from Matty AU. Of course, Trenner, his teammate, up into P2 at the moment. So Aston Martin looking very strong as we've just gone over 2 laps here in Season 1 here at France. Bang's actually got a nice little gap out here in front. Trenner's trying to reel him in, but he's got it out just over a second. We've got a yellow sector, Tetris. What do you see?
What do I see? I see a Mercedes. I think it is a Mortal Racer has come off at turn 1. I don't think he has any damage, but he is... Where is that? No damage for him. He is just had a bit of a mishap. I wonder if he made contact with another car. What's going on there?
If we can move up the field to Aussie Powers, he's really putting the pressure on the back of Cuds at the moment in the Alpine. So Cuds is holding his position quite nicely, just 2.5 laps in at the moment. He's got his teammate in front of him, Quiet Cake. So Cuds... about 3/10 in front of Aussie Powers. Let's just stay with this battle at the moment. I'll keep my eye on Santa, who's also putting some pressure on Trenner up the front.
Yeah, I was just going to say, right. we keep an eye on that battle there, but this one seems to be the battle to be watching right now, the battle du jour. Yeah. I think Aussie Powers is on the hards, is that correct? So, no, sorry, Aussie Powers is on the mediums and Cuds is on the hards. So Aussie Powers at the moment has the slight advantage of grip out of corners and traction as well. So yes, let's stay on board with this. He has still got half a battery. Is he going to make? He's going to make a move into, and he makes a very clean move and into turn 1. That's a beautiful overtake by the Red Bull driver. Well done, Aussie Powers.
To Bridgie, please, Tetris.
Yeah, absolutely. Bridgie. We are there now.
Wayne Morris. It looks like he may have been tagged there from Paulie, or he just got on the gas a bit heavy. Not sure what happened there, but Rolling Thunder and Bridgie have been battling for the last lap and a half. Bridgie's been trying to make his way through the field, and he got the move done there on Rolling Thunder coming out of the exit of turn 2. This is a very difficult
corner here. This one goes winding around to the right. You've got to make sure to get on throttle at the right time. And it looks like Bridgie's got a fairly good run on Original. He's got the DRS, and Original is actually flashing here. So Bridgie's going to get a nice run. Will it be enough to make a move up into turn 8? He's having a look on the inside and just tucks back in behind Paulie. Can he get a nice run? Looks like they've both got a clean run there. What are you seeing, Tetris?
I'm seeing Bridgie. He is like gaining. He's like less than 3/10. He's got this right-hander. Let's see if he goes for a move. This is a notorious overtaking. Oh, keeping it very clean. That was a beautiful, beautiful piece of avoidance by F1. F1 Original. There was absolutely no contact. It was a bee's whisker between it, but no contact there. And that if F1 Original lives to fight another day, and so does Bridgie, which I'm just keen to point out that absolutely all drivers still in. We've had a few incidents, but it's one of those tracks where it's going to happen because, sometimes it can be quite slim, the track, and also it can be really difficult to hang it on the outside. But yeah, everyone's still in the race. Shall we stay on board with Bridgie in F1?
Let's move up the field a little bit.
Oh, he's done it. He's dived down the inside. Sorry. He's dived down the inside in turn 6, I think it was. Yes. So he's made the move. That was a beautiful little move. Oh, me too.
He's been on fire. Although he's on the ladder, it looks like he's dropped 5 positions, but he's really caught all the way back up because he was back down into P20 not so long ago. So Bridgie's done outstanding to get back up into P8. So let's move up into P3 at the moment. We've got Santa, who's been trailing Trenner for the past 3.5, 4 laps. He's just closing the gap ever so slightly. He's got it just under 3/10. And Santa's held position. He's actually moved up 1 since the start of the race, so he's done very well there. Looks like the man from Switzerland is focused and is in pristine position at the moment to make a move, hopefully on Trenner. Quiet Cake has been creeping up behind Santa, putting in some very consistent laps. He's got a very nice gap behind him in Aussie Powers, so the top 4, have really broken away, and there's a nice little battle going on here at the top, Tetris.
Yeah, so Quiet Cake is following Santa. There's not much in it. Santa's actually going to go for a move on Trenner into turn 1. Oh, he backs away. Trenner just holds it round the outside, and as they go through to the right, left, right of the end of Sector 1, so they maintain position. But as you said, this is a beautiful little a ding-dong battle happening for P2 it is. But all the while, let's just really quickly go up to Bang. Not much happening up the front. He's pulled out a 2-second gap. He's just cruising. Let's have a look. He's still got a fair bit of ERS. Yep, he's doing all right up the front there. He's quite happy for those 3 guys behind him to to duke it out for P2, because that's just going to help him extend his gap. It's going to make him safe. So Santa's actually made the move while I was rabbiting on about Bang. Sorry about that, viewers. But yeah, Santa's made the move into that tight left, right, left chicane in Sector 2. We now have 47 people watching, by the way. Not trying to freak you out, Broseph, but that's quite good for a Friday night for Tier 4.
Oh, yeah, mate. Piece of cake. Do this every week.
Piece of Quiet Cake. Speaking of Quiet Cake, I'm just on board with Quiet Cake. He's the Tier 4. Which pick was he? He was pick, I think he was pick 2 for...
he was the second pick, yep, for Alpine. I believe he was pick number 6, because Ads had pick 3 and pick 6 in Tier 4.
Yep.
So
and
he's living up to that pick at the moment.
He is, definitely. Pick 6, there we go. Gobby's just corrected me and you both. So when I said pick 2, I mean the second pick, not pick 2 in the draft.
Yes.
But now Quiet Cake is putting a major bit of pressure on Trenner. Oh, tries to dive down the inside, but gives a bit of space. This is brilliant racing at the moment. I'm really, really enjoying this, Broseph. Oh, you're going to go to the helicopter view? Top notch.
Tier 4.
Champagne Tier 4 racing.
It was a bit of a struggle on the opening lap, but no DNFs, just a little bit of damage. I think we've only seen Dom in the pits recently. Quiet Cake's actually having a look on the outside, and Trenner's not giving him much room there at all. there's a 3-second penalty for Crump and Kangaroo. Let's have a look at these exits here. Quiet Cake gets a nice punch out of there, but Trenner looks like he got a little bit more. Of course, Quiet Cake is punching on that ERS. There's absolutely none left in the tank, so he's just going to have to use a bit of toe at the moment. Santa's getting a little bit of gap away at Trenner after overtaking him recently, and as you said, Bang, from the beginning, taking pole, has just extended that lead out to 2.5 seconds and is sitting pretty. Of course, he's known for getting his nose in a little bit of trouble, but with all this clean air, he's not going to be banging wheels with anyone, and hopefully he can just continue this because Gobby will be absolutely loving it.
Gobby will be lapping it up. The fact that Bang is able to keep his elbows in, he's pulling out that... sorry. That was exceptionally close. Quiet Cake was coming around, tried to go up the inside. Telemetry, yes, we can see that. Sure, I'll see if I can sort that out.
Tell you what, there's nothing quiet about that Cake.
There we go. Let's have a bit of telemetry.
He's really trying to make a bit of noise out there on track, and he's making it felt out there. I'm sure Trenner has got a keen eye in that rear vision mirror at the moment.
Yeah, but this is actually helping Santa, who I'd like to... Sorry, I like the details, you know me. I just... Check out his hat. Check out his helmet. He's a Christmas pudding. Santa has brought the Christmas to France. How good is that?
He brings the joy everywhere he goes, Santa. He's got a fantastic spirit. Just being around him will make you smile. And he's actually closing the gap on P1. He's moved it down to just over 2 seconds, and it was 2.5. So we'll keep an eye on that as we move down the field. And Quiet Cake, he's just under 3/10 behind Trenner at the moment. And Bill Battlers is actually putting a little bit of pressure on Jenneth. Let's have a look a bit further down the field. Approaching turn 8. Just tucks back in behind. Of course, that Red Bull is behind Bill Battler's teammate, Rolling Thunder, in the Ferrari. So
he's in a Ferrari sandwich.
P10 and P12. Jenneth is in a Ferrari sandwich.
I wonder how that tastes for him. So this is actually quite a let's have a look at tyres. While we're in position changes, I was just going to say, let's keep an eye on the Let's keep an eye on the gap between Aussie Powers and Quiet Cake. As those three up the front keep battling between them, let's see if that pulls in. But yes, let's have a look at the tyres. All right, so
Bill is on those 6-lap old softs.
And Skitterpeak gets a great exit, and so does Batman. Gets a great exit because Bill just had a bit of an unsettling moment into the final, out of the final corner. Just those and he's around as well. That is not good for the Ferrari. Mash, what's happening with your tyres? These are those softs. Yeah. So there's your answer there. 7-lap old softs for at France. Not a good look.
No, he did the best he could on those softs, but I don't think Bill really made up too many positions, unfortunately. But F1 Original has just pitted. He had 7-lap old mediums, and looks like he's going to go all the way to the end on those hards. So interesting strategy there from F1 Original Paulie. Let's hope it pays off for him.
Going for a massive undercut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Batman! Batman's up on the inside.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Beautiful move there. He got a really good exit out of turn 9.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Skitterpeak is in a Haas sandwich. Not as tasty as a Ferrari sandwich, but still quite tasty.
That's exactly right. Skitterpeak, obviously, I really like that name. Skid or Peak. So it's either sink or swim, that's what I'll call him. He's in the Mercedes.
I like that.
Yep. Drafted, obviously, by Broccolilli, the team principal at Mercedes this season. Very well known at Inters, very well respected. Gets a good exit there. He's a little bit off the pace. Let's have a look. JTE Racing actually behind him in the Haas. Looks like he might be a little bit closer to making a move on sink or swim.
Yes, I agree, Buster.
Into turn 1. Good exit there from JTE Racing. He'll be looking to make a move, you'd imagine. Let's have a look at the penalties. So JTE's actually got a penalty. He's got 5 seconds, maybe in the pits there, or just banging into someone, unfortunately. And Santa's actually picked up a 3-second penalty up in position 3. Trenner had the move done on Santa, so we've missed that. Trenner back into P2 and Santa with a 3-second time penalty for cutting corners. That's unfortunate. That's going to come back to bite him. Of course, in France, it's renowned for pens. These corners can be very tricky, keeping it within the limits. Yeah.
I was just on board with JT Racing as he made the move on Skidder Peak, sink or swim. So
there's a problem with Batman, I think. He's just given up a couple of positions there.
Do you think he may have some damage from some contact?
Yep. We'll
have
find
a look
out
at those
in a moment.
tyres. What else is happening up and down the field? Let's go back to Bridgie. We've got Bridgie is.
Yeah, let's have a look at Bridgie. Yeah, so he's actually a couple of seconds off the pace.
Paddy's dived into the pits.
Paddy's in the pits.
So I just want to draw your attention, very quickly back to Aussie Powers. The delta between Aussie Powers and Quiet Cake was 2.6 seconds. It's now 1.8. He's reeling those top three in. He's going to have a real chance at having a bash for P2. And you've got a very nervous Tyler TP on the pit wall. Timmy, I believe, I've seen a few comments from him making some gesticulations about Ferrari earlier on in the race, but I think Timmy's actually watching. So big shout out to Timmy, league owner. Hope you're doing well over in the US of A, mate. Timmy! So yeah, Aussie Powers reeling in Quiet Cake. Let's have a quick look. Oh, you can see them now. They're just ahead of him. Look at that. Nice work, Aussie. And if we can just have a very quick look at the position change, Aussie Powers, eight positions. That is phenomenal.
Yeah,
that is
tremendous.
Awesome. Roland Thunder, 9 positions. Jenneth Lee, 6 positions. SJ, look at SJ, 8 positions.
Yep, SJ's been on those hards and he's been running them into the ground. Made up some good positions. Of course, SJ had a very good start off the line and jumped up a few positions and then got caught up, had a spin, a bit of contact, I believe, but back up into 12th. So, yeah, he's looking pretty. And you mentioned Aussie Powers in the Red Bull. Tyler's going to be pretty happy with the replacement, Jenneth Lee, who's just coming into pits at the moment. He's going to get off those mediums and put on some hards and go to the end. So both of those drivers looking to get in the points, and Tyler will be happy with that one so far. Of course, Cud's in P5. He's in no man's land at the moment and has been there for the best part of 5 or 6 laps. And truly, that's where you want to be, in the top 5. You don't want someone sitting right on your gearbox. Of course, you wouldn't mind a car in front of you to get a bit of a tow, but Cuds has just got his head down, putting in some consistent lap times, and I'm sure Ads, the team principal for Alpine, is very happy with both these cars inside the top 5 at the moment. He's been working those drivers into the ground this week, training every single day, and flogging them. So nice work, Ads. It's paying off, mate.
It's definitely paying off, and his picks are paying off as well. Look at those Alpines go. But now getting to the pit stop strategy point of the race, where there's a few battles going on up and down the field, but this is where your strategy comes in. Do you pit early and try for the undercut, or do you push those tyres to their absolute limit so that you have fresher tyres at the end and you've got more chance of either defending or more chance of catching the cars in front of you? So we've got both of the Alpha Tauris have pit. So F1 Original and Alan Santa have both pit. Aussie Powers has just dived into the pits. Quiet Cake, Bang's pit. They've all pit for hards. And we also have Paddy, obviously pit just before. We saw him pit before. And Jenneth has just pit as well. So, and Bill's Battle is, as I said before, pit as well. So we've still got a few of the cars on their first stint tyres. But this is when the strategy is going to really play out. This field's quite spread out looking at that map, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So you wouldn't mind it for some drivers. Look, I think the battle we're going to have to keep an eye on, Trenner and Alan Santa were neck and neck pretty much for the first 10 laps, and Santa's gone into pits. Of course, Trenner started on the hards, and Santa was starting on the mediums. So Santa's just made his pit, he's on the hards. So it's going to be interesting once Trenner pits to see where those two come out together, because they were battling for P2 at the moment.
Yeah. It's interesting how this is all going to fold out, how it's going to pan out. Unfold, that's the one. Fold out, unfold. It's like an electric chair. But yeah, Trenner, who was in that battle? It was Trenner, Quiet
And
Cake,
Santa.
and Santa.
Oh, yep.
So
Yep.
we'll see how these
And
pit
Bang.
stops. Oh, well, Bang obviously was at the front, so he's in not provisional P1, but he is basically, once all of those cars in front of him pit, Bridgie, Cuds, and Trenner, he will be in P1. But then again, so Bridgie has pulled the pin. McLaren, the team principal, Mercy down on the pit wall, helping with the strategy there, making sure that his drivers have what they want, and he'd be pretty happy with SJ's progression at the moment, up 8 or 9 places since the start of the race 13 laps ago. So both of the McLarens doing really well in that first stint.
Yeah, currently both inside the top 10. SJ, of course, hasn't made his stop yet, and Bridgie has. So we'll see how that unfolds later in the race for SJ. But, of course, yeah, he's been putting in some very consistent laps, and he'll be very happy with how he's racing at the moment since, a little altercation earlier on. So Wayne Morris, I'll just highlight Wayne at the moment. He's in P12. Of course, Wayne was the team principal for Alfa Romeo just before the season began and had to step down due to some personal reasons. And, of course, we're glad to see Wayne actually get a full-time seat. He was drafted by Logan. And Wayne came on very strongly at the end of last season. Points in most race finishes that he had. He's sitting in P12 at the moment. I know he had a little bit of drama into turn 1. Wayne's a very consistent driver, and he's putting that on demonstration at the moment. So let's hope he can creep into the points a bit later on.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Wayne. I'm just going to head back to, there's a little battle between Batman and Jenneth.
Batman. Yeah, I just saw that. Got a great move on the inside there.
Yeah. So we'll see Jenneth conceding the position, but definitely not out of it. Keeping it quite close within, 2 or 3 tenths through this very tricky section. They're both on fresh hards, so neither of them really have an advantage. Let's see, they're on about the same amount of battery as well, so we'll stay on board with these guys for a minute, because this looks like a pretty tasty little battle. DRS activated on the straight, and also behind, JTE Racing has joined the fray. So Jenneth, back in that Haas sandwich again. And
yep, he sure is.
JTE's got 90% battery. How do you do that on lap 14? I'm going to have to get some tips. That's great.
That's discipline. That's great discipline from JTE Racing. Of course, Batman, Jenneth Lee, and JTE Racing were all duking it out during preseason, and relatively in the same times, if I do remember correctly.
Oh!
And we've had a yellow flag. Looks like someone's gone around. Looks like Mercedes. Skittle Peak. So he's actually sunk on that turn. That's unfortunate. He'll have to work his way back up at the top.
It's a dangerous corner. Right. I've lost it on that corner so many times. But yeah, back to JT Racing, Jenneth Lee, Batman. It's a great little scrap for 14th at the moment. No point. Points one up.
That's another penalty for Santa. That's 6 seconds. That's really going to hurt him come towards the end of the race. He's driving fantastically, but yeah, that's really going to hurt him. So JTE is using... Almost went to the back of the Red Bull. I think Jenneth was a bit early on the brakes, and he's actually got the move done because it's put Jenneth off big time there. So JTE Racing didn't have to use much of that ERS to get the job done. And tucks in behind his teammate.
Sorry, I just saw a comment from Gob. That's pretty funny, Gobby. Potential skidor mark. Lols. Yes,
F1
that
Originals up on the inside. He's got the move done on Crump and Kano. coming into turn 1, so the Alpha Tauri, gets the move done very cleanly there, but it looks like Crumpin's actually coming back, trying to pick up a little bit of toe there. He's just going to tuck in behind that Alpha Tauri. Oh, a little bit late on the brake. It's going to compromise this left-hander. Let's see if we can get this right-hander right. Not a bad entry. Very skinny around this and goes out very wide. He's going to have to cut this. Didn't really get that one well. Crumpin Kano, I know how it feels, mate. It's a shocking little section there. Yeah, so F1 Original actually gets away to over a second lead and into the top 10, into the points.
No, well, all of the everybody down to 15th will get points with our new point system. We've revised our point system. I'm not sure if there's been an official statement go out, because we actually had some inquiries about revising them a couple of days ago. I'm not going to say anything there because I'm not entirely sure about the graphs. Yes, the graphs. That's it. Graphs were sent. There were words spoken, and I believe we've come up with a different one, but yes, it's not official yet. But everyone down to 15 will get a point, or get points. Who are we looking at the moment?
Santa just absolutely had a big snap.
A lot of numbers.
Turn 2. Immortal Racer just had to pull to the side there and let these cars pass, not to get in the way. It was a great job there by Immortal. So Aussie Powers is right behind Santa at the moment as we come through this very difficult section. That's turn 7 there, just exit, and we've got Quiet Cake. Cuds is a little bit behind, but we've got Quiet Cake following Aussie Powers and Santa as they head into turn 8. Aussie Powers is going to have a look on the inside. He's got a lot of that job done. Santa's going to come back and try and get him on the end of turn 9 here with a much better punch out of this corner. Let's have a look. He doesn't have to use, yes, he's using a bit of ERS. He gets up on the inside, Santa. He's having a good look at Aussie Powers. He's giving him room. He's not going to fight him there. That's very smart there from Santa. So he's just going to bide his time there and wait for the opportune moment to get that overtake done. Quiet Cake's just tucking in nicely. He's been doing a great job in P5. Quiet Cake's very consistent. He's actually shooting up on the inside of Santa at the moment. This is good. Oh, there's a bit of contact. Oh. He's pushed Santa wide, but he's got the move done. That was a good move there.
That was a very fine move by the Alpine driver. Saw an opportunity, saw the door open. The door was left a little bit open by Santa, and Quiet Cake just walked straight through and said, "Thank you, I'll have some of that. I'll have some of that cake." Took full advantage. But Santa's back on the coming down the outside. He's switched to the inside. Is he going to try to make that move? No, he's giving him space. He's staying with him though. Holy ball sacks! This is some great racing going on right now. I'm going to stick on with Santa at the moment because we've got Santa, Quiet Cake, Aussie Powers, and Trenner. This is a mad battle for second. Just a little tickle. Absolutely just a little tickle. Looks like everyone's giving it a little tickle in Le Castellet at the moment. This is... no. Immortal Racer has DNF. Does he...
He retired in pits, I believe.
He retired in pits. What an unfortunate end up for Immortal. 1 in 5 laps time.
Aussie Powers just got a 3-second penalty in the P3, so the pressure on him at the moment is clearly getting to him. He's got Quiet Cake not too far behind him. He's right behind Trenner at the moment. Alan Santa, of course, not too far behind Quiet Cake, just 5/10, and he's got a couple of time penalties which will hurt. Bridgie has picked up a time penalty as well. He's in P7. He's caught his way up the field, and SJ's teammate into P9. Paddy in the Aston Martin is in P8, so both the Aston Martins in the top 10 at the moment. Very impressive.
I'm just going to head back down the field very quickly. There's a beautiful battle for 12th and 11th going on. JT Racing, I saw before he was trying to overtake Roland Thunder. He's got the move done. Roland Thunder is on his tail, so that move is done, but it might see some more sparks flying down further down the field. Great battles up and down the field tonight, Broseph. Such a great competitive field and such a great competitive race.
Oh, you're dead right. No doubt about it. Very competitive. We see a couple of Williams boys struggling both down at the bottom of the field, both with time penalties, and Crumpin looks like he's having a rough time with a few penalties as well. That's unfortunate, but you're right, this is where the battle is at the moment. We've got on board with Rolling Thunder, I believe, who was just behind JTE Racing, just under 1 second there, so he does have a 3-second time penalty, so that will hurt him. JTE Racing won't do anything silly. fighting with Rolling Thunder, you'd think. But a lot of these drivers, especially in France, will probably be on their last warning. So we may see a few more time penalties pop up.
Do you want me to have a look at the time penalties? Let's have a quick look. Oof. Bill's battle is 8 seconds. Santa's got 6 seconds, as you said. That's going to hurt him at the end of the race. Aussie Powers, he's going to want to get past Trenner, but he's just fallen away a little bit. He was right behind him, but he's just fallen away back to 2 and a bit seconds. Who else has got Crumpin Kangaroo's got 14 seconds. That is an absolute horrific amount of penalties for the first race. We've all done practice there. We know how easy it is to happen. If you overshoot that pit entry, that's 5 seconds right there, and it's so hard. Trenner's just pulled out a fastest lap.
Well, Trenner's on brand new medium tyres, just 2 lap older, same with Cuds in P6 at the moment. So I believe Trenner is in a very good position. Bang's on 7 lap old hards in front of him, and the gap is just over 3 seconds at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that. If Trenner can bring that down, you think he'd probably be able to take this one home on those fresher mediums, but we'll see what unfolds there. Of course, as I said, Cuds on those mediums as well, and the rest of the field around them all on hard tyres. So Cuds is just under 3 seconds behind Santa. We'll keep an eye on that gap, but looks like he's really cutting into it at the moment.
He's cutting into it, definitely. He's on those fresh mediums. Santa is on 8 lap old hards, so he's going to be trying to take advantage of those mediums for as long as he can, because as you said before, he wasn't a bit of no man's land. He was like 5 seconds behind the fight for the P2, and he had 7 or 8 seconds between him and Bridgie behind him. But he's pulled out the gap from Bridgie, and he is starting to actually pull that gap in, reel in those guys that are all fighting for P2 and P3.
You're absolutely right. Cuds has got the bit between his teeth at the moment. He's cutting that gap down. This is his debut race for Inters, representing Team Alpine. Drafted by Ads, very well-known veteran here, very well-liked. Let's see what Cuds can do. We'll stay on board with him because he can see that car in front of him, so he's got a target to focus on now.
I was just sorry, let's just draw your attention away from that very briefly to JT Racing has just caught up with F1 Original. So F1 Original, let's see, where did he start? He started a little bit further back, didn't he?
F1 Original, I believe,
he started 11th. No, he started in 11th. Sorry. So he started just outside the top 10. He's made up one position, and JT Racing has now caught up with him. So, yes, this is going to be an interesting little battle for P10 when this happens, because he now has DRS. Boom, there you go. We'll see you on the back straight.
And SJ has made the decision to pit, so he will get off those, I believe he was on the hard tyres.
19 laps. I was actually going to say something before, but we started talking about Santa.
He's got the softs.
Yeah, he tried this in China. I remember he tried this at China at the end of last season.
Oh. He's come out into a very tricky position here. Skittle Peak is right behind SJ on very cold softs, but of course they won't take long to heat up, and it looks like SJ has already got those tyres under control by the looks of it. So let's see how much SJ can make up in the field with 7 laps to go. Of course, the points going down, as you said, down to 15, and that's exactly where he's sitting at the moment. So as many points collected as he can for that McLaren team.
Yeah, and the fact that he started in 20th and he now is in 15th, he's done a great job there. And to make those tyres go 19 laps, almost 20 laps, those hard tyres, that's no mean feat.
He's the tyre whisperer. That's what he is, SJ. Yeah,
he is. He's the Alex Albon of McLaren.
Now, if we can get up to Alan Santa, who's cut the gap to Quiet Cake, he's just over 5 tenths behind him at the moment, and getting a couple of snaps as he exits turn 2 there. Santa, of course, has those pens, so that's going to really hurt him. I don't think he's going to be able to get in front of Quiet Cake and make that gap up, but let's see what he can do, because he is at least 12 seconds, I believe, in front of Bridgie at the moment. So he should be sitting relatively okay in terms of points finishing at the end of the race.
Oh, F1 Original has just dived into the pits. What's happening here? Is he going for a late soft run to try and get...
Looks like
he might be going for fastest lap.
Looks like it. And Trenner has closed the gap to Bang. It's under 1 second. So Trenner on those fresher mediums We're just under 6 laps to go. It looks like Trenner's going to be able to put the pressure on Bang, and we're going to have a fight to the finish here, Tetris, in round 1, opening here at Tier 4 at season number 4.
Absolutely, mate. It's very exciting. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. So Bang is on 9-lap-old hards. Trenner is on 4-lap-old mediums. You do the math. He's got DRS. Let's have a look. He's got about 50% battery, so he's not struggling for battery. What's Bang got? Bang's down on 24%. This is going to be tough for Bang to defend against because those fresh mediums for the next 2 or 3, even 4 laps are going to have way more grip in and out of corners, a lot more traction, and just going to be generally faster, better race tyre. Yeah. For the next four laps, I reckon, he's got an advantage.
You're right. And now Trenner's been talking up his spins all week, really. And, you know, I don't want to stay on him because I don't want to give him the commentator's curse and watch him go around. But this is really where the battle is. So let's hope you can just hold your nerve, Trenner, and bring it home in the last couple of laps because this is going to be a absolute banger of a finish.
Well, you keep your eye on that Delta. I'm going to nip down to Santa and see what's happening between Santa and the Cake Meister. This is a very spicy battle for 4th. These guys are very experienced drivers, extremely respectful of each other. There's been absolutely no incidents. So I'm so not just impressed, but it's just been good fun, clean racing. So clean for France, because France is a really shitty track when it comes to track limits, and you know, you can just like the arse end just can be stepping out here, there, and everywhere. So yeah,
it really is a shifty track. You're dead right.
It's shifty,
really
yeah.
Shifty. It is shifty.
Totally shifty.
So Trenner's just got that gap just under 5/10. He's got the DRS. Let's see. Bang's holding position there. He's not going to let him through. Nice entry. Nice exit out of turn 1. Good exit out of turn 2 as well for Trenner. He's going to get a bit of a run here. He closes the gap. It's under 3/10. Sorry, under 4/10. We'll just stay on board with this. Oh, a little bit late there, but corrects it. Oh, that's a nice little entry there. Quiet Cake and Santa. Cuds. Who is it?
Cuds and Aussie Powers. I think Aussie Powers may have had. I think Aussie Powers may have had a bit of an incident.
Bit of a moment. Yeah, I think you're right.
Because he's dropped back quite a bit. Dropped back. He's like 2 and a bit. He's almost 3 seconds behind Cuds.
Trenner's got the move done. Trenner got the move done on Bang, going into turn 8.
Sorry,
they're just
back
coming
with
out
them.
of turn 9 at the moment. Bang's got a bit of a run on him. Of course, he's under 20% ERS, and Trent is sitting on 36% at the moment. Bang's getting a little bit of a look. Now, this is going to be very interesting. Let's see if Bang can show some patience here and get the move done. He's going to have a little bit of a look here on the inside. Almost gets into the back of that Aston Martin, but holds position. Of course, Alan Santa putting the pressure as well on Quiet Cake, going through the exact same section at the moment. Bang falls a little bit behind. Trenner really looks like he's getting the most out of those mediums. I don't know if Bang is going to be able to catch him. He needs to get a good exit out of this corner and see if he can stick within that DRS limit, because that's the only thing that's going to keep him within this victory.
Absolutely. The only thing that's going to keep him in the fight is for him to stay with Trenner, obviously not get any track limit warnings or any penalties, which I don't know how many warnings he's on, but they both have no penalties at the moment, so it's an even playing field for both of them. Now, Bang is he is keeping up with Trenner. He will have the DRS on the straight when they come around this corner. Long left-hander onto the... Sorry, wrong right-hander onto the left-hand, onto the straight. There's the DRS activated.
Bridgie's out! Bridgie! He's at a moment. Bridgie is out. He's at a moment, and he's on track at the moment. It was coming out of turn 2. That's going to be very dangerous for the drivers coming through. Paddy's missed him, and it looks like we may have it's not a full safety car, no.
Is it just a virtual? I can't... Yes, it's just a VSC.
At the moment, yeah, VSC. It's a VSC. So, Bridgie coming out of turn 2, a little bit heavy on the power, you'd imagine. Oh, it's super unfortunate because he was flying through the field and just a little bit heavy on the gas. So that's the end of the night for the McLaren driver. Mercy, head in his hands at the moment. Really unfortunate. Bridgie was on a good run there. I think it was up into P7 and looking to make a few moves as well with just over 3.5 laps to go. So the gap at the moment to P1 is, I think it's around 5/10, and Bang needs to get this start from the restart right on point. And Trenner looks like he has gone, has he? No, we're still under safety car.
Still under safety car conditions.
Okay,
I
he's
think
just trying to get a
he'll...
bit of a run. All right, so we'll just go through the field. We've got Trenner, of course, in P1, who got the move done not so long ago against Bang, who's running those long, hard tyres. Same with Quiet Cake, 13-lap old hards in P3. We've got Santa with 6 seconds worth of penalties in P4.
Oh, we've just
on
had
the old
two...
hards.
Sorry, we just had 2 drive-through penalties come up, speeding under the safety car.
And we're back in racing, actually.
Here we go.
We are back. So
We're
Bang,
back.
a little bit compromised on the exit there, but he's got the DRS. Let's see if he can stick with Trenner through the section. Approaching turn 8, he's just going to get a bit of a tow here. He needs Trenner to be compromised through this section to get a nice run. Let's have a look. Both of them, nice exit and entry into turn 9. Good exit there from both the drivers. So Trenner should hold that gap there. Anything further down the field that you see, Tetris?
Down the field, no, not very much. Rolling Thunder, JTE Racing, nothing really. Just Cuds is sitting behind Alan Santa at the moment, so he's caught up with them. Aussie Powers has dropped back almost 3.5 seconds on those old hard tyres. So not doing them any favours, those hard tyres at the end of their stint. But Cuds at the moment is putting a lot of pressure on Santa, who is still putting a lot of pressure on Quiet Cake. So there's a battle for P3 going on that's really unfolding quite nicely.
Well, it's interesting because Santa's got those penalties, so that's really going to hurt him. So Cuds will move up into P4 and will be battling his teammate for that podium position in P3. So Ads is licking his lips, but he's going to hope that they don't come together at the end, that's for sure. Of course, we see both the Aston Martins inside the top 10, Trenner in P1 and Paddy in P7. So Aston Martin and Alpine looking very strong here. Someone's just come out of the pits here, compromising the leaders. Or compromising Santa and Quiet Cake, I apologise. But looks like he's out of the way now, so back to racing there. Cuds has actually taken a bit of advantage there and caught a little bit up. He's right behind Santa and Quiet Cake, so this is really where the battle is. We'll keep an eye on Bang, who doesn't seem to be making many inroads on Trenner at the moment.
I actually think that was Wayne Morris coming out of the... Oh, no, I think it was Domois. No, it was neither of them. Sorry, anyway, yes, Cuds is sitting right behind Alan Santa at the moment, and Quiet Cake. There's a great little battle. Let's just nip back up to Bang. I don't want to miss anything that goes on with these guys, because this is getting a bit spicy again. There's less than 5 tenths between them. Trenner's not been able to pull away from Bang. He's really not having trouble, but he's just obviously he's not he's saving a little bit of ERS. I think he's saving a little bit of his battery for a last lap battle, because he knows that Bang is going to want to get in front of him. He's going to want that P1, that top step at the podium. So I think he's just keeping a little bit left in the tank just so that he can defend on that straight. And this is the final lap, ladies and gentlemen, the final lap. Trenner and Bang, a beautiful, beautiful battle between them, evolving over the last 6 laps after the first stint, during the second stint. And we'll see if Bang has enough in the tank. He's only on 6% battery, whereas Trenner's on 25% battery. So I have a feeling I know how this is going to go. But let's stay on board with Bang at the moment. Does he get a good exit onto the straight? He's gone wide. Not a great exit at all, really. That's really...
Not a great exit. Of course, Bang finished on pole position, was leading most of the race in P1, so anything less he won't be happy with. Let's see if he can get a run here. Coming out of turn 8 and into turn 9, gets a fairly good punch, but Trenner, of course, very consistent. I think Trenner might be able to take this one home unless Bang really gets heavy on the accelerator here and has a few dives. Of course, he's renowned for that. A little bit further down, Santa looks like he's going to hold on to P4. Cuds in P5, relatively not much happening there at the moment. They're all holding position, so we'll move back up to Bang. Bang is just over 7 tenths behind Trenner at the moment. Trenner around these last couple of corners, holds that section, keeps away from the curb nicely. Of course, you don't want to get caught on the left side there. You will spin around. Bring it home, Tetris.
And as they come through the final 3 corners, left, right, onto the straight, he will get DRS, but he's just not going to be close enough. He's not going to have enough DRS. So to win the inaugural, the very first race of 2023, Season 4, Trenner has taken it away. Aston Martin, Matt AAU is going to be fist pumping. He's going to be chomping. There's champagne, there's caviar, there's pate being thrown around the Aston Martin. I've got a webcam at the moment, Matty. I can see you, mate. I can see you celebrating. There's white powder, but it's sugar. It's all right, kids. Don't worry about it. What a great race. Trenner has brought it home. He's the
Just a fantastic win there from Trenner. Yeah, what can you say?
I'm speechless.
He had to do it the hard way against Bang there, of course, on the faster medium tyres to bring that one home. And, of course, he got the move done, and Bang was gallant there, trying to hang on at the end and get the move done. But those hard tyres weren't his friend. Of course, Quiet Cake in his debut for Inters. He takes the podium. He gets 3rd position in the Alpine. Ads will be very happy because, of course, Cuds follows up with a P4. So the teammates going back-to-back in their debut for the Alpine and at Inters in Season 4. Aussie Powers in the Red Bull P5. Tyler will be very happy with that. Aussie Powers, of course, returning in the Red Bull this season. Alan Santa with those time penalties, that hurt him a little. He would have finished P4 overall, but 6 seconds has dropped him down into P6. Paddy, his good friend in the Aston Martin, finishes in P7, so Paddy went under the radar very much all race, and to finish in P7, Matty AU will be stoked with a win and a P7 with both of these drivers to round out the opening round in Tier 4. Tetris. Marvellous. I'm going to get some of these podium places in here while you just take us through.
Yeah, for sure. SJ the One, driver of the day, making up 11 positions from 20th to win 9th. Well done, SJ. You are the man at France in Tier 4, even though you didn't win, but my God, what a great drive from the McLaren driver. He has, we had a few doubts about that that strategy of his, going hards to softs. Didn't go so well in China last year, but it's worked really well. But here's your podium. We've got Aston Martin on the top step. We've got Alfa Romeo and the Cuds. Was Cuds on? No, Cuds on 4th. So
P4, yeah.
Almost a double podium by Alpine. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to take a photo of that. Sorry, just for the results channel. So taking it through, we've got Trenner, Aston Martin, first race of the season, winning the race, started from 2nd, Bang, Alfa Romeo, started on pole position but just couldn't keep it in the last 3 laps, put up an amazing battle, a valiant effort, and so very clean. Quiet Cake for Alpine in 3rd, Cuds for Alpine in 4th, Aussie Powers for Red Bull in 5th, Alan Santa for Alpha Tauri in 6th, Paddy, Aston Martin in 7th, Rolling Thunder and Ferrari in 8th, SJ the One, as I said before, driver of the day, McLaren, JTE Racing, Haas in 10th, F1 Original in 11th, and Domwa 12th, 13th for Bill's Battlers, Skidder Peak 14th, 15th Jenneth Lee, 16th Batman, 17th Wayne Morris, and of course your 3 DNFs for the night, Bridgie, Crump and Canoe, and unfortunate for Immortal Racer. What a race.
Yeah, tremendous race to open up the season there.
I'm just going to have we got everyone in the? We've got Trenner. We've got
Trenner. We've got Bang. I don't think we're going to get Quiet Cake in here this evening, but I've sent an invite to Cuds as well, so hopefully he'll jump in. His debut race, fantastic P4 there. So I think we'll get things started with Bang, the runner-up. Bang, you managed to get pole position. It was a fantastic qualifying session for you there. I think you were a 31 flat, if I remember. Great start off the line as well. There was a little bit of, damage there behind you, but you got away cleanly and got out to a 2-second start. It wasn't until Trenner got onto those fresher mediums where he started to reel you in, and unfortunately you just couldn't pull it over the line in P1, which would have been rather deserving tonight. So how did you find the race overall for you, mate?
We had to pat. We had to pat a lot. We had to like use a lot of airtime just speaking shit, speaking smack because there were not many incidents. So yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah, awesome bang. P2 to start off the year. I'm sure your team principal, Gobby, will be very, very happy with that. And yeah. Good man. That's
Nice work.
exactly, yeah, the type of man Gobby is, always in there to help his friends out engineering. So yeah, mate, tremendous start for your quest towards a chip at the end of the season for Tier 4. So well done, Bang, and we'll look to see you out there next weekend, mate. All right, just before we get to the race winner, Trenner, we've got Cuds in here who he finished P4. Cudsy, it was a pretty amazing day for you, I've got to say, mate. I think it was P5 in qualifying for you. There was a few incidents at the beginning of the race. You seemed to get away cleanly, hold your position. You seemed to be in no man's land for a fair bit of that race with no one in front of you or behind. When you did manage to pit, you came out, and I believe it was Alan Santa in front of you. So you had a target, you locked in on it, and you seemed really focused for a lot of that race. And to finish P4 for your debut race, I'm sure Ads is stoked with it. How was it for you out there, mate? Yeah, fabulous, mate.
I was just going to say, I remember you saying something. First of all, congratulations on your first race, mate. You did really well. It was great to watch. There was a point during the race where you were just kind of in no man's land. You didn't have anyone in front of. Well, you had cars in front of you, but you weren't battling anyone. You were just running your own race. You were consistent. You had your head down. You're obviously, conserving tires and all of this and all of that. But I remember you saying before the season started how nervous you were about it because I don't know how much.
Just check your audio, please. Apparently, we can't hear.
Can't hear me.
Yeah, I just got a text saying we can't hear audio.
Okay, it's all good from my angle.
Good?
I think so. Can't hear drivers.
Just check your mic hasn't been muted for stream. Do you know how? Okay. Yeah. So apparently we couldn't hear Bang. Can we hear Cuds? Just get something in the chat.
Someone's saying he can hear all. It was just Bang was quiet. He was apparently not very loud.
Okay. All right. So we're good. We're good. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, you're all right. How did you feel like lining up for your first league race at France? You started off. What did you qualify? I think it was P6 or something. Fifth.
Six. Oh, let's have a look. I've got it here actually. Cuds, just bring the mic up to your mouth or turn it up. But yeah, you qualified in P5.
There we go. How did you feel lining up for that race? Were you just like fully adrenalized and having to breathe and just calm yourself down?
Okay.
Just
Apparently
allowed you to
we
sort
can't
of.
hear you, Cuds. So we're going to have to cut that one there. Yeah, you're not sharing audio apparently. Yep. So I'm sorry about that, mate. We'll definitely get you back in next weekend when you get a podium. So congratulations on your P4. Adsy's very stoked with you tonight. And unless you can sort out that audio and get back in, we'll move on to Trenner. All right. So Trenner, mate.
Welcome.
Let's have a look. You qualified in P2 this evening, not far behind Bang at all, and it ended up being a race between you two at the end. You went onto those medium tyres once you pitted, and I think it was just over 3 second gap that you had to reel in there to Bang, and you did it quite comfortably. You got the move done very clearly, and congratulations on the race win. Just tremendous start for your quest towards a championship this season, Trenner.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It was an interesting battle of strategies at the front there. It's just kind of working out when to pit, because Bang was starting to make a bit of time, and I didn't have any idea how long the pit lane was, so was just kind of guessing, and then came out, I think, 4 seconds behind. But I was able to save heaps of ERS throughout the race, which helped at the end.
Tetris.
Oh, look, I was just absolutely enthralled. Firstly, congratulations on your win, mate. It's such an entertaining and just such a great race. There was a lot of strategy involved. Obviously, you started on the hard compound, which both Broseph and I commented on, or Broseph commented on, saying, that's an alternative strategy. It's good if you can make it work, because that means you're on the faster tyre at the end of the race. But yeah, we were really, really just fixated on your battle with Trenner. With Bang. Tell us what you were thinking when you came out of the pits for your second stint. What were your thoughts? What was your goal?
Well, I wasn't too happy seeing Aussie right behind me, so that wasn't great.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but once I got the tyres warm, I was pretty confident that I was making up a lot of time in Sector 3 on everyone. I'm not sure if I had a higher downforce setup, but yeah, just was confident that I could get Bang with the amount of laps I had left, especially once I got in DRS range. It was good, had Medi and Christo and the Aston boys in the ear, just kind of engineering, which was good, keeping me calm, and was able to just kind of execute a good chase down. Because Bang was really good early on.
Fantastic
he shot out of the cannon early. He did.
He was like pulling out three. It was almost up to 3 seconds when you and Santa and Quiet Cake were all squabbling over P2. That was a cool little battle as well.
Yeah, keeping Santa behind I was trying to keep him behind as much as I could, and then I think eventually I was just like, look, I've got the hards, and I think I kept him behind for, I think, maybe 8 laps, and then,
he did well.
After that, it was just try and keep Quiet Cake behind me until they kind of all inevitably pit, and then just try and put in some solid laps. But yeah, I think I picked up my second warning pretty early on, so it was nervous times.
Yeah, it always is around France to get those warnings, especially when you're battling up the front there. But shout out to your engineers, Medi and Christo, for keeping you calm there, because I read a few times during the week that you said you were pretty wary of spinning around. So did you have many big snaps out there, Trenner? Were there moments where you almost went, or did you hold it?
I reckon maybe 3 laps before I pitted on the hards. There was a moment, and yeah, keep it PG, but yeah, I was packing.
You did well in the end, mate, to get that race win. Just such a solid drive to open up your campaign this year. And shout out to the Aston Martin boys for their team camaraderie so early. It looks really strong and it's paying off. So look forward to seeing you out there next weekend, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And shout out to Paddy, who came back through the field after getting blocked a few times in quali. So I think he'll have a good season ahead. So look forward to it.
All class there, mate. Shouting at your teammate, of course, Paddy. I think it was a P9 or P8 finish. So yeah, very
P7,
strong from
P7 in the end.
P7, very strong from the Aston Martin boys. Yep, of course, I love Paddy to death, and you'll be cursing me forever for not picking him. So we'll leave that as it is. Thanks again, Trent. We'll see you next weekend, mate.
Thanks, boys.
Sweet. All right, Cudsy, if you're still in here, did you sort out your audio problems, mate? Can anyone hear Cudsy? That's all good.
I've turned you up in the chat. We've got really quickly, before we speak to Cudsy, we've got SJ in SJ, of course, the driver for McLaren. And yeah, we're just going to have a quick chat to him. Oh, no, we don't want that. SJ, welcome to the chat. Well done. Didn't have a great qualifying, but you made up for it in the race. Tell us a little bit about your race, mate.
So obviously go from the start. Well, Colin got impeded on the first lap, which was annoying, and then got impeded on the second lap. So obviously then started last, which is I hate with that. Then I knew it was turn one. It's probably going to be a little bit carnage because you got to really either take it quite tight in there or take it quite wide. And yeah, just watched a few cars go on to the left and go on to the right. Got up to P13 and then just got absolutely pumped going into turn three, the windy one going round before we get to the turn four. So that was really annoying. And then from there on in, I just didn't seem to. I don't know if I had the right tyre temps. It seemed very, very stiff going around the corners. And then I just drove my own race, really. And I knew that I was going to go on the hards. And I know it was probably going to take between lap 5 and lap 6 to start getting the wear and tear in them and then start getting through the pack. But JT was behind me. I knew he was going to catch me on those mediums, and I just let him go. And I just fell back a little bit. It wasn't really the best race. And then just watched people spin and Karma, and then I was trying to help Bridgie because I knew that Paddy was behind. He was behind Paddy, and Paddy was behind me. So I was being a bit of a boat. But it was clean racing. I was taking those corners so he couldn't pass, and then I pulled over trying to get Bridgie through. And yeah, P9. I'm really, really happy with that from last. So on a track that I can't stand.
I was actually I made a bit of a comment. I remember you did, was it China last year? You did the hards to softs, and it didn't go so well. But tonight's hard to soft strategy actually worked quite well. So McLaren got it right.
Yeah, it was touch and go though, because I was talking to Bridgie at the time, and I said, "Oh, these softs going to go 10 laps, man." Because that's what I was looking at. I was looking at around about 17, lap 17. I said, I kept getting asked, "Am I going to go in the pits? Am I going to go in the pits?" And I was like, "Well, no, because the person behind me was around about 9 seconds, 10 seconds, and I was going to come out around about P13." So I was going to have a bit of work to do, but then I want to try and at least get 7 laps out of them. But tell you something, they go off quick. They go off very, very quick. I was up to about 65% by lap 26.
I was going to ask you how they felt at the end.
Yeah, JT. You could see JT was catching me right at the end. At the end. So, but
SJ, if I'm honest, like I know what your problem was tonight. You weren't in a
wrong
Ferrari.
car.
You're in the wrong car.
You're in the wrong car, mate. I mean,
you could blame the bloody TV for that.
Yeah, it's the orange car, mate. It's definitely bringing you unstuck. So if we can maybe get a trade and get you in a Ferrari, I'm sure you're going to do a lot better. But no, mate, it was a pretty good race. You did get stuck early on in a bit of those collisions, but you fought back well. You helped out your teammates. So as you said, not the best race for you, but pretty good overall, mate. And we know your quality out there, so you will bounce back in Silverstone next weekend.
Oh, yes.
And
home track, mate. Home
one
track.
of your favourites. There you go.
One of my home tracks. So I've already told KLX and them boys that I'm going for the win. I'm going for the win.
You've heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
Well,
Friday night special.
Well, we'll see. Like, end of the day, I know that I can get out there with those boys, and obviously, different track, and everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. But obviously, points on the table. That's what it's all about. Unfortunately, Bridgie didn't make it, which was unfortunate. Yeah. But points on the table for McLaren, and let's just go on to Silverstone next week.
Yeah, well said, mate.
Thanks very much, SJ. Thanks for joining us in chat. Well done tonight on your performance. It was definitely driver of the day worthy. We're going to leave it there. So, Broseph, first race of the season. What are your final thoughts on how tonight went?
Well, I thought it was a raging success. Obviously, lap 1, there was a couple of incidents. A lot of nerves, drivers just feeling themselves out. Of course, a lot of drivers new on track together for the first time. So, a bit of feeling had to be done there. It was always going to happen, but I thought it was a very clean race after that. We only had one DNF. It was unfortunate. Bridgie in the McLaren turn 2 looked to be a little bit heavy on the throttle and into the wall, I believe. So apart from that, I thought really good racing. Some good performances from some rookies tonight. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear Cuds in his interview, but I can assure you he was packing bricks and he was shaking and he was very happy with his performance tonight. So I can't wait to see these guys out here in Silverstone next weekend. But of course, we've got Tier 3 tomorrow at 4 p.m. That is absolutely stacked, and then we've got Tier 2 at 8 p.m. tomorrow night to round out Saturday. So there's a lot to look forward to at Inters. I think we got off to a hell of a start here in Tier 4 Tetris. So how about you send us off, mate?
Yeah, for sure. So that was Tier 4, the first race of Season 4. And we've got, as you said, we've got Tier 3, Tier 2 tomorrow afternoon and evening respectively. We've got a very, very stacked Tier 1 race on Sunday afternoon. We hope that you guys all join us back. It's going to be a very, very very competitive season up and down the different tiers. And Tier 4, if Tier 4 is anything to go by, I can't wait for the rest of the races for the rest of the season, the rest of the weekend and the rest of the season. So yeah, thank you so very much for joining us, everyone. Thanks so much, Broseph, for filling in for GUCat. The Battle Cat's away having a family holiday. So we will be welcoming him back next week to Sky Race Control. But anytime we need a second, I would be most happy to have you with me, Broseph. It's been an absolute pleasure, mate.
I love you, mate. Thanks, Tetris. We'll do it again for sure. Let's go AlphaTauri.
Let's go AlphaTauri. Woo! Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Good night. Have a good night. Thank you.
Peace.